Hi there. Just want to share with you, I was meeting with a client just a few minutes ago, and an interesting topic came up. Actually, it was about, well, he's putting a president in place. So he's the CEO and the owner, and now what he wants to do is bring a president in place, somebody who's very qualified, who came up through the ranks. Seems like a really good person, so that's real positive. But the question is, how do you compensate them? And sure, you can give more salary and a bonus. And in fact, we talked about the bonus, and this kind of applies to salespeople as well. You know, the bonus on net income or earnings before taxes, that's a little bit tough because the person receiving a bonus on that number, if they're not in control of expenses, you could have the owner spending a bunch of money and bonusing themselves higher comp to reduce the profit. And next thing you know, your share of the profit is not very much because the profit's small. So being bonused on the bottom line is kind of complicated and not ideal. Being bonused on the top line is not ideal either because you don't want somebody who's running the business to be bringing in a bunch of low margin business. And so the idea is to really bonus on the gross profit because the person running the business has control over what's coming in, the quality of what's coming in, how it's priced originally, and also how it is serviced in a service business. For example, how efficient the people are, how good they are with keeping the hours down, and so forth. So bonusing somebody on the gross profit is always the way to go. And with salespeople, the same thing. You don't want them bringing in deals that have no margin in them. You want to pay them on a margin, and the gross margin is a good way to do that. So that's the first thing we talked about. The second thing is somehow feeling like an owner in the sense that if and when the company is sold, his new president, she can get a part of that. So we talked about an increasing share of the value when the company is sold. However, maybe it be a part of the value increase. So if the company is worth $5 million right now, and let's say over time that person earns in 20% share, well then if the company is sold for $10 million, they don't get 20% of 10 million, they get 20% of the 5 extra million that the value was added while they were running the place. And that's $1 million in this example. But on the increase in value, because they didn't really do anything to build the value, at least, you know, as worker bees they did, but not as leaders. So why pay them a bonus on the company that the value that's already been built? Okay, so that's the other concept. And then how do you do that? Well, phantom stock, you can look it up, but phantom stock is a good way to do it because with phantom stock, you're basically giving them the value of ownership without being an owner. And it keeps it a lot simpler. And also, by the way, in this case, this woman was saying, well, if I'm an owner, an actual shareholder, then I'm going to have some liability. And she was trying to think through that. So this way, there's no liability to the executive, to the employee. So anyway, these are some really cool concepts. I hope they're helpful to you if you're planning something like this or think of it down the road. So check back with you later. Bye-bye.